It has been over a year since I took the leap into becoming fully self-employed in my own video business, and it has been awesome. I've been hired by a local semi-pro football team, a local semi-pro hockey team. I've been hired to fly out to California 3 times to shoot commercials. I filmed crazy expensive mansions, and I've been able to do really cool commercials throughout this entire year. So needless to say, I'm super grateful for the opportunities that I have been given. But today I want to talk about the #1 leading growth into my business this year. There's one leading attribute that has resulted in all of the success, and that is investing in your business. I've broken this video down into 3 different ways that you can invest in your business to see exponential growth in the next year. The first way to invest in your business is to first invest in yourself. Rather than buying a super high-end camera like an Alexa or a Sony Venice or a Red camera, the #1 thing you can do is invest in yourself. What does this mean? Learning new camera techniques, learning new processes, learning lighting, learning audio, learning different composition. There's so much that you can learn out there that will improve your skills within your business. But not only that, it is so important that you not only work in your business, but work on your business. What does this mean? So this means learning business skills, learning sales. I've listened to a ton of podcasts, read a ton of books of how to grow your business, and this has been the most beneficial thing to my business. A couple that I've read that have been very influential are The 4-Hour Workweek, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Atomic Habits, and there's a lot more on my list that I plan on reading and investing in myself so that I can use those strategies to be able to grow my business. You can have like the greatest lighting, the greatest gear, the greatest cameras, lenses, and all that sort of stuff, but if you're not getting consistent business on a monthly basis, it sucks, because I've been there. However, investing in yourself, being able to unlock certain ideas or certain ways to do business has been super beneficial to me because I didn't go to school for business. I know other people have, and they've started their video businesses and have been successful. But for someone like me, maybe someone like you who's watching this video, you didn't go to school for business, maybe you went to school for video, or maybe you didn't go to school. You just started doing video and loved it. Well, don't let that stop you. Education is one of the most powerful tools that you have through books, podcasts, YouTube videos, just watching other creators, how they create, learn their processes, learn how they do, what they do, why they do it, and then being able to learn business systems and then translate that into your video business is super key to growing your video business, not just bettering your skills as a videographer, but also bettering your skills as a business person, because the both go hand in hand, and when you have both. The second way that you can invest in your business would be to invest in your gear. When I first started out, I had a Sony a7R II. I also had a couple GVM lights. I had like a dome light with the softbox light, and then I had 2 little light panels. And that was kind of my whole setup for a while. It was really hard to be able to shoot commercials and different things like that, being able to control the light because I needed to keep lights on just because my lights weren't powerful enough to light a whole set. So that really hurt me on that end. And then on the other end, I kind of bought the wrong camera. I bought an R series of Sony, which is the photo series, and I didn't know that at the time. So that kind of hurt me because there was always a lot of grain in my footage, and so it was just kind of and I felt like I had good composition, I had good angles, but I was just lacking in lighting because I didn't have enough gear, and I was lacking in, the image quality because I didn't have the right camera. But what a friend of mine told me one day kind of shifted my perspective on gear, because I'm like, well, I'm shooting and I'm getting paid for this stuff, but I need that money to live off of, right? And so that's maybe how you're kind of feeling. But the idea that my friend gave me was, whenever you do a commercial video shoot, how about you build in a piece of gear into that shoot so that you can buy the gear, use it for the shoot, write it off on taxes, and you have a new piece of gear and you're getting paid for the shoot. So it's kind of like an all win around. And sometimes, it might be a bit more of a price on your video services. However, one thing that you can do to mitigate that is offer the client more out of that price range. So if they're just asking for one video and you're charging that a little bit extra, maybe an extra $1,000 because you want to buy a lens, and the client is just not having it, well, one thing you can do is say, hey, with this, I will also provide like 5 or maybe 10 reels that you can use for your company. So you're also providing them more value, but you're also being able to charge them a little bit more so that you can start investing in your gear. And this has been a great technique that I have used. I have bought many lenses, I've bought many pieces of gear. I have a Nova 300p whatever, because I use it on a shoot. It's a very expensive piece of gear, but I use it on a shoot and I was able to light up a whole room, which is super nice. But what I kept doing was using my gear and being smart about it, using windows and different things. So I was able to pick up on techniques that I probably wouldn't have learned if I didn't start out with the poor gear. Now I use those techniques and have become a better videographer, lighting-wise, audio-wise, film-wise, composition-wise, all because I didn't have the best gear, and it kind of refined me, just like how a calm sea never made a skilled sailor. Well, every shoot to me was like a raging sea because I had to figure out how to light someone properly, use my camera properly when I had poor gear. But because of that, I've been able to really up my knowledge in my video game, my lighting game, audio game, to now I've been able to buy so much gear from different video shoots, and as I get bigger and bigger and bigger, then I can buy more and more or more expensive gear so that I can make my shoots look even better. So I not only have the knowledge from being handy on shoot, but also I now have the good gear to use on shoot. So it's kind of a win-win as well. And a pro tip too, if you keep buying gear, then you can keep writing that off on your taxes, which is super helpful at the end of the year when you have to pay taxes on your business. Did you know that I make hip hop music? Do you like an F? I also make similar music. I make hip hop music that has some cinematic instrumentals in it. Why? I'm not trying to copy the dude. I love the genre. He started a genre, and so I'm hopping on the genre of that type of hip hop, bruh. So you can check me out on all music platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Pandora. Do you still use that? I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you like my music, go ahead and subscribe on my music channel, YouTube. I'll also put that in the description below. Peace out. The last way, the third and final way that you can invest in your business would be to invest in your process. As a videographer, you want to shoot, you also want to edit, and you also want to deliver and do the client work. Well, you are wearing a ton of hats, and soon you will start to plateau because there's only 24 hours a day and there's only so much that you can do in your business that you will start to plateau because you can't handle more business. So one thing that I have learned is to let go. Just let go. A few months ago, I made a post and was like, hey, I'm looking for a new editor. This was like the first time I've ever kind of contracted out work. You know, I always wanted to have a hand on my edits. However, reading that book, The 4-Hour Workweek, I was thinking, how can I make my process more streamlined and how can I make it more automated so that I can then go out and bring in more revenue. So what I did, I found an editor, and it's been really great, someone that I like and has a good style, kind of like mine. I've been able to offload a lot of my shoots to him, and he's able to work on those edits, so that now frees me up to be able to go out and shoot some more, which in turn brings in more money. And so it kind of merged the two, the gear and the process. Whenever I upgrade to a Sony a7S III, the S-Log 3 is pretty beefy to edit, and my computer just couldn't really handle it. So it would take me a long time to edit. Because I wasn't offloading everything to my editor, I was still editing some things, and it was really slowing me down. So what I ended up doing is investing into buying a Mac Studio, very expensive piece of equipment. And there was a shoot that came up where it usually takes me about 2 weeks to edit because it has a lot of deliverables, kind of like what I mentioned before, is they wanted an interview and my price was a little too high. So I said, I'll give you, 3 interviews with a bunch of reels. And they ended up going for it. My computer just couldn't handle it, and that usually took me about 2 weeks to edit. Well, now because I have a faster computer, I can now edit it all in less than a week. And so that's really freed me up to be able to go out and shoot some more on that free week now that I have. So I've been able to make more money because my editing processing time is way, way quicker. I have an editor for some of my shoots, and then my other shoots I can just cook through real fast. And the last point with the process would be is I did buy a Sony a7S III, which has been super helpful. And because my Sony R2 was really tough to color grade, well, now I have a few LUTs that I use that has this, a really good look that I like, and that's, consistent with my branding. And so, one I made, one I bought, and I combined the two, and then whenever I bring in my footage, I usually slap those LUTs on, do a little bit of correction, and that's kind of my process. So I've been able to streamline that as well, to where it has bought back a lot of my time. Now, there are shoots where I do, really dive into the color grading of it, but for the most part, I mean, if you're shooting like, small car commercials or small recap videos, then you really don't need to do much color grading on those type of videos. So I've been able to really streamline that process, just put an adjustment layer, throw in my LUTs, color adjust or correct, and you're all set. So those are 3 ways that you can invest in your business: invest in yourself, invest in your gear, and invest in your process. If you do these 3 things in your business, you will start seeing growth. And I'm telling you, it has been wild. It has been awesome to see this growth. So get you some podcasts, get you some books. I'll link some books and podcasts down in the description below that has been really beneficial to me, that can definitely help you guys out. I'll also link some of the gear that I use in the description below, so feel free to check that out. Let me know if you have any questions on this video or any questions to help you grow your business. I'm here to help you, so go ahead and leave something in the comments. And I appreciate your time. Go out and cook.